the dropout of our favorite person ever.
Ron. Oh, Ronald McDonald DeSantis meatball man. How you deserved more than this, my friend. You did. You deserved better.
I don't know about that.
Well, listen, if we rewind to November 2022, when the Republican red wave doesn't exist, they get wiped out in the Pennsylvania Senate. They get wiped out in Georgia. They lose Nevada, right? Everyone is looking around, blaming people, and obviously the person to blame is Donald Trump. Donald Trump picked Dr. Oz to run for Senate. He picked Herschel Walker. All of these Republican candidates he picked Kari Lake. All of these Republican candidates across the United States were handpicked by Donald Trump, and they all lost. And so Republicans, as they should be doing in that moment, looked around the country and is like, okay, well, who's doing well? And they looked down to Sunshine, Florida, and they saw Ronald Meatball DeSantis. And he won by like 20-something points, like 19 points.
Yeah, he won by a lot, and the people love him as governor.
Him. He has a great approval rating in Florida. He did great with Hispanics. He won Miami-Dade County. Republicans look to him, and they're like, wow, if we could just put this guy in the general election, he'll beat Biden no problem. So if we go back to the polls back then, and we see where the Republican primary was at right after that, we had Donald Trump at like 45%, and Ron DeSantis at 35%. That's a close race. If you're only in a 10-point difference nationally, all you need is some Iowa, New Hampshire momentum, and bam, you're in the running.
Especially considering the cult of personality that Trump has, like that's fantastic.
Like that indicated that at some point, Ron DeSantis broke into that Trump cult of personality,
yes,
convinced a bunch of Trump cultists that Trump can't win nationally and that they needed to go into a new direction. But then Ron DeSantis stepped in front of people and everyone hated him.
True. And also, Donald Trump got indicted.
Oh, true.
And that's when the polling really just started to diverge and never came back to being close.
Because the second Trump got to stand there as a true or quote-unquote martyr, right?
Yeah.
The second he got to do that and put himself on the metaphorical cross like that, the Republican base rallied around him with open arms and were like, we are here to save you so you can become president and pardon yourself, I guess.
Totally. No, it was so much of an attack against someone that they personally identified with.
Yeah.
That it was like, even if someone could be better, I want to vote for him as a show of support.
Yes.
For what this man is going through.
I'm going to be honest, this is very history nerd of me, but this is so similar to the Julius Caesar situation right before the Roman Civil War, I swear to God. So like Julius Caesar was the whole reason the Roman Civil War started was really because of the persecution of not the Roman citizenry or in income inequality or any other reasons we think of revolutions in today's standards. This Roman Civil War started because of the quote-unquote persecution of the single man of Julius Caesar. They were saying that he could not become the consul again. They were saying that he had to demobilize his military because he became too strong. And they were saying that he had to give up some of his fortune or distribute some money in a different way. And because of that, because he was individually attacked, he took all of his troops and marched into Rome. And people rallied around him. And Caesar said, he's like, first, basically his mindset was, first they'll come for me, then they'll come for you. And that's exactly what Trump's rhetoric is.
Yes.
He really portrays himself as the wall between the establishment and everyone else. And he has convinced this class of the working class that if it wasn't for him, the establishment would be knocking down their door and charging them with insurrection. But that's just not the case.
No, it's not the case. And I'm not even sure that I don't think that that's exactly the mindset. I think it's a little bit more metaphorical. It's a little bit more like, I'm the one who gets you and who brings you in. I'm the one who accepts you and lifts you up. Everyone else out there, everyone else online and in most of the mainstream media, they tell you you're bad. They tell you you're not a good person because you vote Republican, because you are pro-life, because of all these things, because of all these culture war issues that they're kind of losing on and they're out in the zeitgeist for. Trump is like, no, they're wrong. You're good. And then it's like, okay, if Trump goes away, there is no one standing in the way of telling me I'm bad, I'm wrong, I'm going to be ostracized.
Yeah. And they cling to him. So DeSantis really only had one chance. He really only had the chance of winning in Iowa. That was his only bet to win this campaign. And he raised a lot of money to do so. So DeSantis raised about $130 million, and this is between himself and his super PAC. And this is really weird that we can say like DeSantis has a super PAC, because super PACs are supposed to be totally outside of the Democratic, of the presidential campaign. They're not really they're not supposed to communicate at all. So the fact that we just casually say DeSantis's super PAC is fucking, that's messed up. But his super PAC, between the super PAC Never Back Down and his campaign, they had $130 million. Well, Never Back Down spent $34 million in ads in the state of state of Iowa, and the DeSantis campaign spent $19 million in ads.
That's crazy. That's $53 million.
$53 million to only get 21% of the vote, which is only 23,420 votes, which means it was $2,263 per vote. Wow. That's how much he spent. Donald Trump, he spent $328 per vote.
It makes you think, like, it kind of sucks that these candidates and these super PACs can't just directly buy people shit to get their votes, right? Like spending even $328 per vote, that would be able to lock votes in, especially for the Republican primary.
Oh yeah.
Like,
oh yeah, I'll give you $300 if you go vote for me. It would be more effective to do that than to buy all these stupid ads.
Yeah, totally.
Oh my God. Thank God you can't do that.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
Good thing you can't do that. We're not saying that you should be able to bribe voters, but
no.
Would have been a better use of money. Probably.
The thing I have to say that I've been excited to say for a long time is the fact that his super PAC is called Never Back Down, and now he's out after the Iowa primary.
So some may say he backed down.
Yeah.
Oh man, dude, it's just he's such a mean candidate. Yeah. And what makes it so much more funny, right? The humor in it is that he basically got scammed.
You think so?
Yeah. So this guy, Jeff Rowe, he was the main political consultant to the Never Back Down super PAC. He's the leader of Axiom Strategies. Now, this guy has been involved in numerous races and is an icon in Republican politics, but there's just one issue. He loses all the fucking time. So really good recent examples are Adam Laxalt in Nevada, lost. Carla Sands in Pennsylvania, he lost. Dave McCormick in Pennsylvania, he lost. Jim Lamon in Arizona, he lost. Josh Mandel in Ohio, he lost. Martha McSally, Arizona, lost. She lost twice, and he backed her twice. This is the guy who you hired as your consultant, who has a hardcore losing record. Apparently, guys in the Never Back Down PAC wanted to pick him up, not for his quote-unquote genius, but because they wanted to take him away from Nikki Haley, so Nikki Haley couldn't grab him. But why would you hire him in the first place? Now the dude's running around buying second, third houses. He's living large.
Yeah. It's funny because I just looked up his Wikipedia page really quick. He also has advised the presidential campaigns of Mike Huckabee, Rick Perry, and Ted Cruz.
Oh, wow.
Which, as far as I remember, have never been president.
Yeah, they've never been president.
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either.
No.
Yeah, okay. So, again, it's so funny I guess they hired him because if he ran the Ted Cruz presidential campaign, Ted Cruz won Iowa. So I guess they were thinking like, oh, maybe if he won Iowa with Ted Cruz, he would know exactly what to do to get DeSantis over the finish line. I
think that's even a reach.
Yeah,
it seems like this guy has just kind of found his way into the Republican Party. And now, like, I don't know how he got a reputation, but the fact that he's, like, I'm seeing those presidential candidate names. He advised Glenn Youngkin, DeSantis, Kevin McCarthy, apparently. So these congressional races and statewide races, it seems like he's had some success in. Maybe they just give him a good reputation, better than he deserves.
Well, Glenn Youngkin could give a man a good reputation. That was a very well-run campaign. But I hope Republicans learn their lesson and don't hire Jeff Rowe again. Or you know what? Maybe as a Democrat, no, I hope you keep hiring Jeff Rowe. Keep that going.
Yeah, keep paying him.
Keep paying that guy and get him a new house. So Meatball Ron is gone, and that just leaves us with Nikki Haley and Donald Trump.